The story begins as armed men attack a sleeping bag thinking their prey is still sleeping. They throw a dagger that passes through the sleeping bag to kill their target, but they get shocked when they realize it is vacant. Soon they find their target standing behind them, who tells them that because they tried to ambush him, it will be justified if he kills them, as it will be the case of self-defense. The boy breaks a branch from a tree and uses it as an arrow, so they start laughing, thinking that a tree branch couldn't possibly hurt them. But when it hits one of their companions, he dies on the spot. They quickly realize that the branch is covered with vis. The boy kills them one by one, and then the last survivor begs him to spare his life. But the boy reminds him that since he was ready to kill him, he should also be ready to be killed. After cleaning up the mess caused due to the fight, he remembers how Darien had cautioned him that the human world is dangerous, but it wasn't the case for him, as he simply finds it boring. In a flashback, we see a group discussing traces left by the Demon King, specifically the Forest of Roots. Any living organism that possesses demonic energy can't get past the barrier of the forest, so it's nothing of concern. But it is still a problem for them as the forest is covered in demonic energy, so they can't use any of the land. Someone from the group suggests that if no one survives the forest, they should send people who must be killed to the forest, as there will be no better place to get rid of them. Everyone agrees with this idea and they implement it. The forest became an inescapable place of exile through which even genius scholars, brave commanders, or great mages couldn't pass. Criminals were sent to this forest, but if they could survive and make it out of the forest alive, all their sins would be forgiven. A boy named Helmut was born with the seed of darkness and exiled to the forest, because his existence alone was an unforgivable sin. The coldness and hunger treated the child cruelly, but something like a seed grew in his heart, causing energy to surge and cover the child. 10 days passed, but the child managed to survive. Then one day, a demonic leopard, Alaga, found him and took him into its care. 10 years pass, and Helmut is now seen hunting a rabbit. He catches the rabbit and tells Alaga about his successful hunt. Alaga asks him if he has gotten used to hunting, to which he replies that, so far, he can only hunt rabbits. Alaga kills the rabbit, takes something out of the rabbit's body, and tells Helmut that this is a core that all demonic beasts possess. If he eats this core, he will become stronger, as it will recharge his core energy and also increase his lifespan. However, when Helmut tries to eat the core, Alaga stops him and tells him that since he is not a demonic beast, if he consumes the core, he will become a demon and will never be able to leave this forest. Helmut argues that even if he doesn't eat it, he will still be stuck in the forest, so wouldn't it be better if he eats the core and becomes stronger, as he is still too weak to go anywhere out of Alaga's territory. Alaga finally reveals that he can leave the forest, but Helmut gets confused since Alaga had previously told him that it isn't possible. Alaga replies that it was what he believed before meeting someone who told him otherwise. Helmut inquires about the person, so Alaga replies that it was a human he met some years ago. Helmut gets shocked to find out that there is another human in the forest beside him, but Alaga tells him he shouldn't think of finding this person because he must have died in this forest. Helmut asks if he saw him die because if not, he might have survived. Alaga tells him that the human must have grown old, but he was very strong in the past. However, he tells him that no matter how strong a human is, they can't endure the demonic energy of this forest and eventually grow weak. Helmut couldn't feel it because he has the seed of darkness in him. It had been a long time since he last saw the human, and he would be now around 90 years old. Helmut reminds Alaga that he had told him that humans can live up to 100 years and beyond, so there might be a chance he is still alive. He asks Alaga where he met this human, but Alaga gets disgusted, saying that he fed and raised him, but now he wants to leave. He keeps insisting and asks where he met the human. Helmut gets on his nerves and tells him that he met the human to the east of this place. Helmut starts running to find him and is excited about meeting another human like him. Helmut reaches a fence and thinks that only a human can make something like this. He crosses the fence but is caught by someone who asks him about his identity and who sent him. Helmut tells him that Alaga sent him, so he lets him go. He then asks Helmut why he came to see him and if he just wanted to meet another human. He came to the wrong person. Helmut explains that he wants to escape this forest, so he came to meet him. The man reveals his name to be Darien and asks Helmut for his. He then asks Helmut why he wishes to leave this forest, as the outside world isn't as beautiful or peaceful as he thinks. The humans don't have fangs or claws like the beasts in the forest, but instead have weak bodies. However, they are cruel and cunning and even betray each other. He asks Helmut if he was born in the forest, but Helmut tells him that he was sent here just after birth. Darien asks him if he has the seed of darkness, and Helmut replies yes. Darien deduces that Helmut must be a noble because children born with the seed of darkness are usually killed immediately after birth, but because he was spared, he must belong to a high lineage. Helmut is clueless as he doesn't understand the concept of nobility. Darien then tells Helmut that he was left in this forest because of the seed of darkness inside him, and as long as it is in his body, he will always be chased. And even if he gets out of this forest, he might die fighting against other humans. After telling all this, he asks Helmet if he still wishes to escape the forest, to which Helmet nods yes. Darien decides to help Helmet as he has a debt to Alaga. He tells Helmet that he must first become a human if he wants to leave this forest and reach the human world. Helmet has to go through the holy barrier to leave the forest, but Darien tells him that in his current state, it is impossible. He has to get stronger first. After that, Helmet must meet someone who knows how to get through the barrier, but Darien can't reveal who that is yet. Helmet wonders how he can get stronger, and Darien tells him that he must follow what he is told, and eventually, he will get stronger. Helmet's first task is to sweep the house because all humans live like this. Darien then presents Helmet with his bed. Helmet lays on the bed and asks if he can rest now, but Darien calls him a lazy brat and says they have much more to do. He then gives him clothes to wear because humans must act civilized. Helmet finds the clothes uncomfortable, but he has to wear them because all humans do. Darien tells him not to damage the clothes because he doesn't have extra. They go outside as Darien teaches Helmet what he can and can't eat. He then explains that all root organisms have a core, but the demonic energy remains even if one removes the core. Water doesn't have any demonic energy, so the organism can be purified of its remaining demonic energy with water. Helmet is now tasked to bring water but fails to understand what this has to do with his training. Alaga then sneaks up on him, startling him. He says that Helmet never listened to a word he said. Then why is he doing everything Darien is telling him to do? He replies that he said he would make him stronger. Alaga asks what he will do when he becomes stronger. Will he leave the forest? He says he has to go to the human world because he is not a demonic beast, and nothing good will happen if he stays here. He says goodbye to Alaga and goes back to Darien. Alaga gets very sad because he raised him since he was a child. But now he is about to leave him and then thinks that perhaps he will have a good life outside the forest. Darien is helping Helmet not only because of his debt to Alaga but also because he believes that Helmet is a good pupil who has great potential. Helmet is about to collapse from the training when Darien tells him to stop. Darien then gives soup to Helmet and teaches him how to use a spoon. Darien tells him that he is a weak human, not a demonic beast with hard claws and sharp teeth, so no matter how hard he works, there are still limitations to his human body. This is why he will now start teaching him how to use a sword properly. Darien takes out a wooden sword and uses it to destroy a big rock in front of Helmet. Seeing this, Helmet is shocked because he saw a light from the sword during his attack. Darien reveals that it was Vis. Just like demonic beasts possess demonic energy, Vis is an invisible power source for humans. The seed inside Helmet's body has different properties, but it is similarly a source of power. Helmet also wants to learn Vis, but Darien tells him to be patient because his body is not ready to receive Vis yet. Understanding the sword is more important for him right now. The way of the sword will be difficult and distressing, and, at times, painful, but he must follow the path and never give up. If he pours his heart out and gives it everything he has, the sword will reward him. Days pass as Helmet starts practicing swordsmanship, but Darien scolds him for using the sword incorrectly. Darien also tells Helmet to address him respectfully. Helmet then refers to him as Sir and asks him about the issue in his technique. Darien tells him that only having a proper form is not everything in swordsmanship, and he should think about what was wrong because he can't explain everything to him. Darien finds Helmet a bit strange as he is progressing very fast. The seed of darkness within him has already made him prone to violence, and he also grew up with demonic beasts. But despite how he looks, Helmet is incredibly rational and doesn't quit very easily. Helmet could not identify the issue, so Darien took it upon himself to enlighten Helmet by striking him with a sword. Afterward, Darien asks Helmet whether he now understands the difference, but Helmet is still clueless. Darien then tells him he will not have dinner tonight. Helmet requests Darien to wait and states that he is beginning to grasp the concept. Helmet explains that although the movement of the attack was the same, the speed, pain, and places he hit were different than before. Darien then tells him that just mimicking the outer appearance is not enough. The tiny difference in muscles, the tremors at the fingertips, the speed of attack, and both the mind and the sword must all be controlled. Only then can he say that he has learned anything. He further comments that Helmet is more like a woodcutter than a swordsman because he just mindlessly swings his sword. Darien had told Helmet that resting is also part of the training, but he feels bored when he is not swinging a sword. Helmet is then approached by Alaga, who tells him that he has grown in a short amount of time. He asks why Darien is indebted to Alaga, and he reveals that Darien wanted to live here, so he permitted him to stay. Helmet is surprised because Alaga doesn't want to live with anyone, so why did he let him stay? Did he not want to fight him? This enraged Alaga, who tells Helmet that he must have turned stupid by living with the human as he owns the Forest of Root's central area. Whoever disturbs him, he will fight, but at that time, he was worried that if they both fight and tire each other out, this will create a great opportunity for Naho to attack them both. Helmet asks Alaga if he and Darien were to fight. who would win, but Alaga replies that he doesn't know because unlike demonic beasts like himself who have demonic energy, humans do not expose any such energy at all, meaning that they can hide their strength. Alaga then tells him that he is uncertain about the fight's outcome if they were to fight. Darien is so strong that Naho can't touch him despite hating him. Helmut asks why Naho hates Darien, to which Alaga tells him that it's because Darien destroyed the disgusting place that Naho had built up. Helmut is curious about the disgusting place he mentions, and Alaga decides to show him. They both arrive, and Alaga points out that this is the place he was talking about, a human farm. Helmut gets confused when he witnesses a slave on the farm getting hit by another man. Alaga tells him he is not doing his job properly, so the other man is hitting him. On the farm, Helmut points toward humans that look different than him. Alaga tells him that they are females, and although they are humans, their gender is different from his. They are food for Naho, who likes to eat females because they don't have many muscles and their meat is tender. But if they are too small, there is nothing for him to eat, so he waits for them to grow before devouring them. To maintain this space, males get enslaved, while females become food. Naho is said to be the protector of this farm, but humans maintain it, and their leader is Sir Irugo. Sir Irugo inquires if the sacrifices are gathered here, and among the female sacrifices, he picks one out for himself, telling her that he will let her live a little longer. Alaga tells Helmut that Irugo is very good at finding humans that enter this forest, and he is lucky that Irugo didn't find him before Alaga took Helmut. Otherwise, his fate would have been the same as all the other people on the farm. Helmut asks Alaga why didn't he treat him like that, and he replies sarcastically that he didn't want to increase Naho's livestock. As they are about to leave, Naho arrives and confronts them. Naho sees Helmut and asks if he is the human Alaga was raising and says that males are delicious when they are young, asking Alaga to give him one bite of him. Alaga tells him that he is a male, so his taste won't suit his liking as he only eats females. Naho says that the humans Irugo prepares for him are very delicious, but because Helmut is wearing Darien's clothes, he asks Helmut how he relates to Darien. Helmut gets scared because Naho's face is right in front of him. Just then, Alaga attacks Naho asking how dare he stick his filthy face in front of Helmut. Naho laughs and tells Alaga that he wants peace just like him but was just checking him out because he could smell Darien from his clothes, so it's not strange that he is cautious of him because he destroyed his farm. Alaga tells him that Helmut stole Darien's clothes, which is why he could smell him, and there is no relation between them. Naho says this is a relief, but if he weren't here, he would have punished him, which angers Alaga, who threatens to rip Naho to shreds if he even touches a hair on Helmut. Naho says he was only joking and doesn't want to fight with him and then orders them to leave because he doesn't like fur on his territory. Naho leaves, but Helmut is so scared that he faints. Alaga later tells Helmut that he shouldn't travel alone and stick to Darien now that Naho has seen him. Naho won't come here because of Alaga, but one can never be sure. Helmut asks Alaga if he could ever become as strong as he and Darien, to which he replies that Darien is very strong. He is at a level that most humans couldn't reach even if they struggled their entire lives, so it won't be easy, but things could be different depending on what he does. If he wants to leave this forest, he should do his best to become stronger. He then leaves as he sees Darien coming towards them. At night, Helmut's stomach starts hurting as Darien made him eat poisonous herbs to help him control the seed of darkness. After some time, Helmut gets the hang of the sword. Darien asks if the poisonous herbs still hurt, to which Helmut replies that it no longer hurts, and instead, he feels fresh. Darien then asks Helmut if he remembered what he had earlier told him about Vis. You cannot see Vis, which is why you can use it endlessly. But if the body is not prepared, there is no point in training to learn Vis. He tells him that before today, his body was not at the level required to learn Vis, but now it seems his body is ready, so from now, he will teach him Vis. Darien starts teaching him how to use Vis, telling Helmut to melt the energy in the atmosphere into his body, control it freely, and then incarnate it through the sword. He tells Helmut to duel with him while constantly breathing in between, absorbing nature's energy into himself. He has to move with composure because his body will break if he loses the flow. Darien then attacks Helmut, which he dodges but tells Darien to wait and asks if he is trying to kill him. Darien gets disappointed, telling him how he could lose his composure this quickly because he didn't teach him to become like this. Helmut starts to control his breathing and attacks Darien, but he easily deflects his attacks, telling him to use more sense and take more energy to feel all the power. Helmut couldn't use Vis or land even one attack on Darien. However, Darien tells Helmut that no one can be perfect from the start. They will continue training like this from now on, and it's fine if it takes time to learn it, but Helmut has to show him his will. 4 years have passed, and Helmut is still training. Darien arrives, telling him he is a little better now, but Helmut thinks he is still lacking. He asks Darien for a duel, but he tells him first to show him his Vis. Helmut says he doesn't want to because the last time, he said the same thing and afterward refused to have a duel, saying that he was still lacking. Helmut then shows him this, to which Darien thinks, although before he told him that he was lacking. He has shown incredible growth by manifesting this at such a young age. It might be due to the seed of darkness, but he has a lot of talent. Darien thinks Helmut is the child that will turn the world on its head, either evil or good. Seeing the level Helmut has reached now, Darien wonders if the time has arrived to let him go. Darien tells Helmut that the time has come for him to leave the forest. But Helmut believes he still has a lot to learn. Darien tells him that if he were to wait any longer, the seed of darkness would grow, making it impossible for him to pass the barrier, so now is the best time to leave. He explains to Helmut that the human world lies beyond the south of the Forest of Roots. He has to pass through the divine barrier to reach the human world. Still, there is a weak spot, which means he can theoretically pass through that area. Even though he has the seed of darkness, if he can find the weakened portion of the barrier, he can pass through it. Helmut asks about its location, to which Darien replies that he doesn't know since he never tried to find it, but there is someone who did. The village chief Irugo of the human village in the two-headed snake's territory should know where to find it. Helmut realizes that by the two-headed snake, he means Naho, and by Irugo, he means the person who handles the humans in that village. Darien tells him that Alaga knows where to find this village. Lastly, he tells him that he will experience countless things in the human world and may find them exciting and interesting because he has lived his entire life inside the forest, but he must remain cautious as tragedy doesn't come with a warning. It cannot be avoided, and it can't be stopped by just keeping his guard up. When the time comes, he will feel despair, pain, powerlessness, and frustration, and he may even reach out to the darkness, but Darien requests him never to lose himself under any circumstances. Helmut knows that Darien had no intentions of coming with him, so he again asks him in case he has changed his mind, but Darien confirms that he won't be joining him. Darien then asks Helmut if he has anything else to ask because he wants to take a nap, and then asks Helmut to return in the morning as he has something to give him. In the meantime, he would like to spend some alone time. At night, Alaga visits Helmut and asks why he doesn't look excited as he is about to leave the forest tomorrow. Helmut replies that he finally gets to leave this forest, but he doesn't know why he is feeling strange, to which Alaga replies that this is proof that he is slowly becoming human. In the morning, Helmut returns to see Darien. When he enters the house, he sees Darien sitting in front of a sword and a bag. Darien isn't saying anything, so Helmut calls him but soon realizes that Darien has passed away. He takes the sword, realizing it's really time for him to leave, and says he will always remember him. When he goes outside, he notices Alaga, who says that Darien had told him about his lifespan ending soon. Seeing the sad look, he asks Helmut not to make that face because whenever there is a meeting, there is a parting, and he shouldn't feel guilty because Darien lived and died as long as he was meant to live. Alaga then gives Helmut a necklace that was with him when he found him. It was made of pure gold, which means Helmut must have been a child of a noble family. There was writing on the necklace saying, "Let there be light on your path, Margaret Irene." Helmut says that this must be his mother's name. Alaga tells him to go find her once he gets out of the forest, as she might be able to help him. Alaga tells Helmut that Naho is in hibernation, so he won't come out unless there is a huge disturbance. But if Alaga entered his territory, he would sense him easily. Helmut then goes to the farm after saying goodbye to Alaga. Helmut reaches the farm at night and sneaks into Irugo's room. He holds a sword to his neck, telling him not to move. In a flashback, we are told that black magic is an evil power that can make weak mages strong. Some mages cross all boundaries to get strong magic and power. Irugo dreamed of becoming the greatest mage but wasn't strong enough to achieve his dreams using traditional magic, so he started using dark magic to get stronger. He used the negative emotions of humans to get powerful. Through human trafficking and kidnapping, he could easily get the necessary materials. He got more powerful through this, but a mage learned of his evil deeds, and he was exposed before the whole world. He was then asked to choose either to be executed or exiled, so he chose the Forest of Roots for his exile. In the forest, he met the two-headed snake, Naho, and begged permission to stay in his territory. In return, he provided Naho with human sacrifices. He used his magic to find humans exiled to the forest, and later the humans submitted to Naho so they won't be killed. This led to the creation of the human farm. He became the king of the farm, and the other humans were treated as livestock. Naho never interfered with what Irugo was doing on the farm as long as he continued to provide him with sacrifices. However, every winter Irugo is exposed to other demonic beasts of the forests, as Naho goes into hibernation. At present, Helmut holds a sword to Irugo's neck, so he asks Helmut what he wants. Helmut asks him to tell him about the way out of this forest, to which Irugo asks why he should tell him. Helmut threatens to kill him if he doesn't, so Irugo tells him that if he were to die, Naho would wake up from his hibernation. And since Helmut is a mere human, he can't take on Naho. Helmut tells him that it doesn't matter because Naho cannot revive the dead, and Irugo will be dead, so he has nothing to worry about. Irugo says he can't kill him since he is the only person who knows how to get out of the forest, and if he dies, he will be stuck in the forest. Helmut replies that he has heard mages record their knowledge, so after killing him, he will search the house and surely find the way out. He is only asking Irugo to make this easier. Irugo agrees to tell him the way out of the forest and then asks for his name. But Helmut refuses, saying it's none of his business. Irugo tells him that the method he knows is theoretical, as no one has ever tried or can try it. All he is doing right now might be for nothing, but it could be possible for Darien. He asks Helmut what happened to him, but hearing no response, he realizes he must have died. Irugo takes a book from his shelf, but before giving it to Helmut, he offers him the seat of his successor. But Helmut refuses and tells him that he will leave this forest and live a normal life, so he doesn't need Irugo's seat. He then demands the book, and Irugo hands over the books, telling Helmut that this is a book he found in a mage's hideout before he came to this place. This book contains information related to stealth magic. According to the book, there is a waterfall at the southern end of the forest that weakens the divine power, along with demonic energy. That is where the barrier is weakened, but it's still a divine barrier of the highest level and will turn anyone with even a little bit of demonic energy to ashes. After getting the information, Helmut knocks out Irugo and ties him up. Because Darien had taught him never to take life lightly, he can't kill him. Helmut tells him that he will be released after some time and tells him to behave well. Infuriated, Irugo wakes Naho from his hibernation and informs him that Darien has died and his disciple is now at this place. Naho starts laughing, saying this is the perfect opportunity to get rid of traces he has hated. Helmut runs away from the farm but realizes that demonic beasts are also running away without even looking at him, meaning that Naho must have woken up. He keeps running as fast as possible to get out of his Naho territory, but Naho manages to catch up. He says that he knew Helmut will return to his territory. He is a long-awaited guest, but unlike last time, he can't allow him to leave. Helmut replies that he will have to get out after slaying him first. Naho realizes Helmut is much braver than last time. But even so, what can he do with such a tiny and fragile human body? Naho attacks Helmut, causing dust to go up in the air so Helmut can't see where Naho went, who has surrounded Helmut with his body. The aura and pressure Naho is giving off are immense, but unlike last time when Helmut was scared and fainted, he remains calm this time. Helmut realizes that no matter how strong its demonic energy is, there will surely be a weak spot he can attack with his vis. He finds the weak spot, which is in its eyes. Helmut dodges his attack and slashes his eyes, giving him enough time to run. He thinks it would be great if he could defeat Naho but realizes that this is all he can do at his current level. He has used too much of his vis in the attack and knows he will die if he continues fighting Naho. Naho's one head bites the other head off because it was distracting by screaming in pain due to the eyes getting slashed. Naho then turns his attention to Helmut and attacks him. He tries to block the attack but unfortunately gets hit. Naho gets impressed by Helmut as he can hide even after being hit by his attack. Helmut realizes that he is too strong for him to fight, so he tries to escape. Naho again attacks him, but luckily Ilaga arrives in time to save him. Ilaga asks Helmut to leave the rest of the fighting to him, but Helmut says he can still help. Ilaga reminds him that he has important tasks and should leave and find his freedom. Helmut still wishes to stay but then decides to leave after thanking Ilaga. Ilaga and Naho now face off. Naho is infuriated as he says how dare he stop him in his territory, but at the same time, he is thankful as Ilaga has brought himself to him. He believes he can now kill them both. But Ilaga taunts him, saying that he couldn't achieve this milestone when he had 2 heads, and now that he only has 1 head, what makes him think he could do it now? Several days have passed since Helmut ran away from Naho. He encounters various demonic beasts in his way, which he kills easily as they are not as strong as Naho. He thinks that he wouldn't have been able to survive in this place if it wasn't for Ilaga and Darien. He owes them a lot for helping him get out of the forest. He reaches the waterfall, but this place feels strange compared to Ilaga's territory as he can't feel any demonic energy, and the Seed of Darkness also reacts to the divine barrier. Luckily, he had already covered it in vis, otherwise he would have been in trouble. Igrel, the owner of the territory, appears in front of Helmut and asks him what business he has there. Ilaga had told Helmut about her, the ruler of the North Igrel, that she has a very curious nature. Igrel smells the scent of Naho and Ilaga on Helmut and asks him if he is from Naho's family or Ilaga, to which Helmut replies that he is from Ilaga's family. She presumes that Ilaga has intruded on her territory, but Helmut tells her he is not here on Ilaga's orders. He has his own reasons. Igrel asks him why she should spare him, to which Helmut replies that what he is about to do might be meaningful to her, and it will be a perfect opportunity for her to satisfy her curiosity. He is going to be the first being who will successfully cross the barrier and make it out of this forest safely. Igrel starts laughing, saying what makes him think it is possible. She reminds him that he is just like a demonic beast because of the demonic seed inside him. She asks him why she should let a perfect human prey go to waste rather than eat him. Helmut replies that many more humans will be dropped off in the forest, but only he can get past the barrier. He intrigues her because she wants to see him try to escape the forest. If he could get out of the forest, he would be the first being to do so, and Igrel will be the first demonic beast to witness this scene. Igrel allows Helmut to go and protect him until he reaches the barrier, but she asks him if anything were to happen, he should tell her his last words, and she will pass them on to the Alaga. He asks her to tell Alaga that he survived and made it out of the forest, whether he survives or not. Helmut then jumps into the water and goes toward the barrier, thinking that no matter what happens, he has to make it out of the forest. Divinity is the power of purification that protects humans and rejects negativity. This power penetrated Helmut as he tried to cross the barrier. He felt a pain he had never felt before, making him unconscious. Meanwhile, a group of mercenaries led by a woman named Tanya stop near the forest of roots to rest. She gets asked by one of her subordinates, Finn, why they are resting so close to the forest of roots, to which she replies that if they rest, they would be able to travel further because if they get exhausted and run into a demonic beast, even a rank 4 mercenary like him will be needed to get involved in the fight. She orders him to stop complaining and fetch some water, but he is scared as it's getting dark. He finally gathers some courage as he goes to bring water. He comes across Helmut's unconscious body, which he thinks is a corpse. He runs back to his group and tells them about the corpse, but they make fun of him that he might have mistaken a branch for a corpse. Tanya goes with Finn to investigate and finds Helmut unconscious. She soon realizes that he is still alive as he is still breathing. Helmut wakes up and wonders if he escaped the Roots forest. Tanya assures him not to be afraid and that he is safe there. She asks him about his name and anything else he remembers about how he got here. He tells her his name, and Tanya finds it strange that he lost his memories, but he has no sign of injury. She then introduces herself as a rank 3 silver medal mercenary from the Face Mercenary Corps. She asks him if he knows where they are, and he replies no. She then asks him if he remembers anything, to which he replies that he only remembers his name and that he knows how to wield a sword. She says he doesn't have any major injuries, so he just needs to visit a doctor for a quick look at his head. She also offers to help him till he decides on his next step. Till then, he is her responsibility. Helmut ponders how he barely survived the barrier and that it will take some time to recover fully. He is in even worse shape than before he started training. The seed of darkness inside him, which he assumed would disappear, is still there, but thanks to it, he survived. Now that he has reached the human world, he cannot allow anyone to find out about the seed, so he will pretend that he has lost his memories and must find the owner of the necklace which Alaga gave him. The next day after Helmut takes a bath, the people of the mercenary group are shocked at how handsome and elegant Helmut looks now compared to when they found him. They ask him if he is from a noble or a wealthy family, but he again tells them he doesn't remember anything as he has lost his memories. Tanya says that it doesn't matter who he is because he is now the newbie of their mercenary squad. Finn teases her, saying that she has become nicer after seeing how handsome Helmut is. She punches Finn, telling him to shut up and make preparations for the departure. She tells Helmut that they will arrive at the village in 4 days, and she will take him to see a doctor after they reach there. The mercenary group starts traveling toward the village by walking with the carriage. Finn tells Helmut that he is pushing himself a little too much by walking because he just woke up and the carriage is pretty fast, so it's difficult to catch up to it. But Helmut says that he needs to loosen his body, and walking will help with that. Helmut likes horses, making Finn think he must not be noble, but he still isn't like an ordinary person. He speaks weirdly, and even though he seems to be the same age as Finn, he is restrained. Helmut starts panting after walking for so long, so Finn suggests him to just get on the carriage because if he walks slowly, they will fall behind. But Helmut assures him that he won't fall behind. Helmut thinks it is weird that he is getting tired just by walking. During his stay in the Forest of Roots, it never took him more than 1 day to recover. After arriving at the village, Tanya and Finn take Helmut to see a doctor, but he tells them that Helmut is perfectly fine. He will recover quickly because he has a sturdy physique. But Tanya doesn't believe that and asks the doctor if he checked him properly because he was unconscious a while ago. She thinks the doctor should diagnose him properly and calls him a quack. This infuriates the doctor, who tells her that no matter how he looks at him, he has no problem. Finn then asks the doctor about his memory loss, to which the doctor replies that there is nothing wrong with his head, so his memories should return soon. He gives them medicines and tells them to get lost, as they had called him a quack. Later, when Tanya and Helmut are walking in the village, she asks him to duel with her because he had told her he knows how to use a sword. It will be just a way to loosen up the body, and his memories might also return. Helmut accepts because she is a rank 3 silver medal mercenary, and a person of her caliber must be respected in the human world, so it will allow him to know how his strength compares to humans. She takes him to the training ground, where she seems to have a good reputation among her fellows. She gives a wooden sword to Helmut and states that the loser will be the one who first falls to the ground. Helmut knows he is not in his best state and can't use this either, so instead of facing her head-on with sheer strength, he must redirect her attacks. Helmut takes his fighting stance and attacks Tanya, but she easily blocks it, making Helmut realize that her strength is above his own. Now Tanya attacks Helmut, but even though he dodges her first attack, she connects with a kick. Helmut feels like he is underwater and his body can't follow the movements he wants. She does a barrage of attacks, and while Helmut blocks them, she goes and attacks him on his abdomen, making him fall to the ground and lose the duel. Helmut looks frustrated because he lost the battle so easily. Tanya had much more openings than Darian, and her swordsmanship wasn't that excellent, but he still lost to her. Just like Darian said, he shouldn't take the human world lightly. The people watching the duel tell Helmut that Tanya is a top fighter, even in the mercenary squad, so he shouldn't feel bad that he lost to her. Instead, they are surprised by how well Helmut fought. Just then, the captain of the Face mercenary squad and a rank 2 gold medal mercenary, Fend, arrives. Fend tells Helmut that Helmut has passed the entrance exam, which confuses him. Fend explains that because they saved him, they didn't want him to wander around aimlessly because he has no memories, so they decided to take him with them. So they tried testing him because not anyone could join the mercenary squad. There aren't any problems with Helmut, so everyone has decided to let him in. Fend gives Helmut a rank 4 mercenary deed, which is a temporary ID they made, so Helmut has to register in the mercenary guild later officially. Everyone introduces themselves to Helmut. Almost everyone is rank 3 except Fend, who is ranked 4. Darian had told Helmut not to trust humans easily, so he doesn't know if joining them will be okay. He asks Fend how long he has to stay if he joins the squad because he might regain his memories at some point and may have to go elsewhere. Fend tells him that he can leave the squad whenever he wants, but if they start a commission, he must move with them until it's completed. Helmut thinks it might be better this way rather than just wandering around aimlessly, and he might find clues about his birth more quickly this way. Also, he wants to know what allies are. Later, a man named Miles tells Fend that he cannot allow another rank 4 to join because this is an important mission. But Fend assures him that Helmut will be useful. Sir Miles allows Helmut to join because Fend is the leader of this mercenary squad. However, he will only give 1/3 of the money to Helmut because he just joined them. He also tells Fend that the Tariq mercenary squad will join them in this mission. Fend tells his men that the commission has been taken, so if they get ambushed, rank 4s don't need to fight unless they absolutely need to, but rank 3 should prepare themselves for any situation. Helmut is told to ignore the Tariq squad if they insult him because they don't have a good relationship with the Face mercenary squad. At night, Helmut is still angry about how he lost to Tanya, and saying that he wasn't fully recovered would be an excuse. Tanya had many openings, but he couldn't capitalize on them. He realizes he is weak right now, and being unable to use this is not the problem. He first needs to get his body back into shape, like when he started training in the Forest of Roots. The commission starts, and they meet up with Sir Miles, who gives them the items they need to guard. One of the members of Tariq's squad, Caleb, starts insulting them, calling out Fend and Helmut. Helmut thinks that comparing strength to the opponent is the same for humans and demonic beasts, and the person that insulted them didn't look very strong. But he will watch him until this commission is over. A few days pass, but the man continues to bother Fend. Helmut ignores him completely, which makes him angry. Another member of the Tariq squad says that Helmut looks unique, and he doesn't think it's a good idea to keep poking him, but Caleb asks what rank 4 can do to him. He says that he has temporarily dropped to rank 4 because he broke his arm, but his companion says it was because he got drunk and started a fight. The man thinks about how his brother demoted him to rank 4 and threatened to kick him out of the group if he caused any more problems. But Caleb still thinks of doing something evil and asks his companions to help him. 3 days pass and the Tariq squad and Caleb continue bothering Fend. He goes to bring water, but Caleb, with some of his companions, arrives and beats Fend. They ask Fend if he has ever bathed with Helmut because they think he is a woman. Helmut arrives, and Caleb orders them to strip Helmut of his clothes. Helmut knew something was wrong, and he thought these humans were the same as demonic beasts, who fought for a higher position in the hierarchy of power. There is no difference between humans like these and demonic beasts. These are the kind of people Darian told him never to trust. Helmut has been healing but still can't use this. He needs to keep his guard up because these guys are ranked 4, which means they must be weaker than Tanya. He plans first to attack the weakest one of them, and if he can't hold them out, he will use Darian's sword. They attack Helmet, but Tanya arrives and punches one of them. She inquires why they bother the Face Squad when Caleb replies that they were just conversing. Tanya tells him that she heard him ordering his men to strip Helmet, but he says that's how men bond, and she wouldn't know because she is a woman. Tanya tells him to use his brain before speaking and refers to them as rank 4, but Caleb says that he is rank 3. Tanya says that he had been demoted to rank 4, which ticks him off. She tells them things won't end peacefully if something like this happens again. Tanya thinks about how her mercenary squad is arrogant because even if it is an unwritten rule not to interfere in rank 4's fights, they should at least help out before they fall apart. At night, when Helmet is practicing swordsmanship, he realizes that his body has completely healed now because, for the past week, that's all he has been focusing on. However, he still can't use Vis, so he can't train like he wants to. For now, he has to increase his strength however he can. Fiend tells his men that they have reached an area where demonic beasts frequently appear, so no one should be alone at any moment, not even when they have to pee. And when rank 4 seconds are going to get the water, they should call a rank 3. Helmet now can't even train alone and hopes his Vis returns before the seed of darkness within him goes out of control. Finn asks Helmet if he has ever seen a demonic beast because Sean and Byrne of the Face Squad had told him they are gross looking with big chins and teeth and 4 eyes. Helmet says that some are like that and some are not. Finn asks how he can remember if he has lost his memories, to which Helmet replies that he only assumes. 2 squad members are talking with each other when a demonic beast appears, killing one of them. Seeing his friend's death, the other member rushes to attack the demonic beast but is also killed. The group realizes that the demonic beast is not alone. They prepare to attack it, and Tanya tells Finn and Helmet to go hide in the horse carriage. Helmet can't use Vis yet, and there are more demonic beasts than what can be seen. If things go wrong, everyone will be killed by the demonic beasts. Helmet thinks that it will be tough to defeat the big one. Even though he is not as strong as Alago or Naho, it's still very strong, and only the rank 2 mercenaries can use Vis, but he knows that in his current condition, he can't do anything to help them. Fiend uses Vis and attacks the beast, injuring it, while the other members try to kill all the small demonic beasts that had also appeared. Fiend, with 2 other rank 2 mercenaries, keeps attacking the big beast, injuring it severely. Seeing them fight, Helmet realizes that humans are much stronger than he expected and shouldn't be underestimated. After all the small demonic beasts get defeated, the rank 2 mercenaries decide to attack the big one with all they have, but the demonic beast flees. Tanya asks Fiend if they should chase it down, but Fiend tells her that their job is to guard and transport the item, not to kill demonic beasts. They prepare to take care of the corpses of demonic beasts when Helmet asks what they mean by take care. They tell him that the skin of demonic beasts and the seed of darkness can be sold at a high price. They show a seed of darkness to Helmet, who never thought he would see a seed of darkness here. Finn says that he has heard if a human is born with a seed, it will slowly take over the human mind and turn them into a demonic beast. But it can never be confirmed because they either die before they are born or are exiled to the Forest of Roots. Darian had told Helmet that someone with a seed of darkness within them will eventually die fighting humans. He wonders if it meant he would also turn into a demonic beast. Darian taught Helmet how to use Vis to suppress the seed of darkness within him. Helmet knows that even if his Vis returns, he has to hide it as much as he can in crowded places because someone might suspect that his powers are related to the seed of darkness. Seeing the body of one of the demonic beasts, he realizes something is strange about it and tells Finn to wait for a moment. But when Finn approaches the corpse, it attacks him. The demonic beast attacks Finn, but Helmet kills it before it can reach Finn. Helmet feels his slashing was different from when he was training and felt like he had become unclogged somewhere, maybe because his Vis might have returned. At night, Helmet makes sure that his Vis has returned but is surprised that just swinging his blade instinctively would bring back his Vis. He will be fully recovered in 3 days. Fiend tells his group that they will stand watch in groups of 2. Helmet and Tanya, Finn and Marrows, and Sean and Byrne. Helmet still senses the demonic beast that ran away. Tanya tells Helmet to go and rest and wake up the next shift because they have a long way to go tomorrow. But Helmet knows that the demonic beasts are waiting for all of them to fall asleep, so he will look out for them just in case, and will also use this time to recover his Vis. Caleb sees Helmet going alone and decides to follow him. He approaches Helmet and tells him that if he is going to practice swordsmanship, he should let him join, but Helmet refuses. Caleb tells him that he doesn't understand the situation he is in because Tanya isn't going to help him like last time. He says that Helmet should fix his attitude and he will teach him how to, but might break Helmet's arms and legs in the process, and even if he dies, that just means that he is weak. Helmet tells him that the people in the squad help each other, but the case is the opposite for him. His actions make him seem more like a demonic beast than a human, and he should live like a human if he is one. Enraged, Caleb tells him that he must be taking him lightly because he has a cast on, but he breaks the cast off, revealing that his arm has healed. He tries to punch Helmet, but he grabs his wrist and makes him kneel. Helmet says that he thought Caleb was like a demonic beast, but he is even worse than them and tells him that he should have chosen his opponent carefully if he wanted to establish a hierarchy. He continues to attack, but Helmut blocks them easily and uses Vis to attack Caleb's legs, making him unable to walk. Helmut wasn't planning on using Vis but got too excited since it returned. He thinks that if he leaves him alive, he will be exposed. The Seed of Darkness takes control of him momentarily, telling Helmut to kill him as nobody will find out. Helmut comes back to his senses and controls the Seed of Darkness. For a moment, Helmut felt like he was becoming a demonic beast. He tells himself to get a hold of his senses and that he is Helmut, not a demonic beast. He looks around, but realizes that Caleb has run away. While dragging himself away from Helmut, Caleb is thinking about how he can use Vis, and that Helmut may be stronger than his boss. As he runs away, the demonic beast that had fled before sees and kills Caleb. Helmut sees his dead body and prepares to fight the beast. When Helmut first faced them, he couldn't use Vis, but now things are different. Helmut uses Vis, but instead of mindlessly attacking the demonic beast, takes a step back. This one seems different from an average demonic beast as it could tell how strong others were. Helmut tells it to take Caleb and get out of there, otherwise he will kill it. The demonic beast leaves, but Helmut is sure it will return again. He must think of a way to explain the situation to everyone. He tells everyone that Caleb followed him to try and bully him, but the demonic beast appeared and killed him. Max apologizes on the behalf of Tarek's squad because Helmut was put in danger due to one of their members. Still, Tanya is not satisfied with a verbal apology because Helmut's life was put in danger. Even though they knew what he was doing, they did nothing. Caleb's brother tells her to watch her words, but she says that if they had kept an eye on him, this wouldn't have happened in the first place. They can't do anything about the dead but will give Helmut the remainder of the mercenaries' commission fee. Sir Miles tells all of them to be careful while they think about dealing with the demonic beast. Later, Tanya scolds Helmut for wandering alone and not telling her about it when they were standing guard. She could have helped him. She tells him not to travel alone from now on. Seeing Tanya worry about him, he remembers Darian and gets a feeling both warm and cold at the same time. The mercenary groups try to leave the area as fast as they can so they don't get any more deaths, but they keep facing demonic beasts on their way. Helmut still senses the big demonic beast's energy, but it's not close. It stayed back, lurking around the mercenary squads while sending out smaller demonic beasts. The demonic beasts continue only to attack the Face squad, and the Tarek squad didn't even fight any demonic beasts, but due to their conflict, they weren't going to help them. At night, Sir Miles talks with Paul, the brother of Caleb, that the demonic beasts are only attacking the Face squad, so they should help them in fighting the beasts off. But Paul disagrees and says that instead of safety, they should aim for efficiency, meaning as the beasts are only attacking the Face squad, they should abandon the Face squad. And that's how the first part of this manhwa ends. Well guys, if you like this video and you want a second part, comment below with the word devil. Also subscribe to the channel, hit the bell and like the video. But most important, leave a comment. Until the next video.